Hello all. So we're waiting for 3 more to join. So yeah, let's give them some minutes more. Do you know if Chen Yinghong and Li Yusheng will join today? So they were here last time. Okay, let's see. Let's give them 2 more minutes and then we're going to start. That's great. There she is. Okay, so I think that we are all today, so it's a group of 4. I was told that we will be 6, so Li Yusheng is missing and maybe Miss Wu, she joined spontaneously last week, will also take part in this class, but it's not, not agreed upon right now. So, yeah, I would say good morning to you all. Here in Germany, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think at your place, it's around noon, except one person who's also in Germany. I would like to start with some, as always, with some organizational parts. I'd like to take a bit of time to ask you if there are any questions about the last session and the organization. I prepared some slides for that, and we will also do deep dive into the project work. So the agenda for today is the organizational part. Then we're going to talk about the project, about the requirements and the guideline. We will talk about the topic selection and team building. And also we're going to take a look at the handbook for academic writing. I sent you the data yesterday, the access and the link as well. We're gonna do a little tech check together today. I already noticed that some of you got access to Slack and also to Trello. That's great. And I also want to say thank you that you put some pictures here into Zoom. So now I know who I'm talking to. And in the end of the session of today, we will also do a first dip into marketing. Will be just a brief overview about what marketing is, and then we take a look out to what's happening next. So first of all, organization. I would like to validate the data with you. I will also share the list, and you just tell me if it's correct. You can send it in the chat as well. So I have here the name of Chen Ying Hong. You joined lately, Ray. It's also given in your written in your Zoom profile. Maybe you can just tell me how I should talk to you. Should I say Chen Ying Hong, or it's a different way around? I have to learn this. Just let me know. Maybe you can tell me.
Good morning. I come.
Sorry, I'm sorry. My sound was a bit broken. So can you repeat again?
Good morning. Morning. I come this class last week.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, I changed my name as you say in the email.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid you can recognize me.
No, I do remember the picture and the Ray. Yeah. Okay. And how do you want to be called?
You can call my English name.
That's right. Right.
Because my Chinese name is I don't like it.
Okay. So good to know. Okay, thank you. Then next one in the list, and please let me know if the email address is not right or something. Yeah, just check it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, like. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thank you. And then I have here Chen Xiao. I know your email address is right because we already had contact by email. How do you want to be called? I think your connection is very poor. So I see that your microphone is on, but I cannot hear you. Zoe, okay, great. Okay, and then I have the last one today, Sue Chen. How do you want to be called?
Good morning. You can just call me Chen.
Chen. Okay, great. So, thank you. So I hope that's fine for now, and I will check the other data with the other students later on. I have another point, so maybe we can use the chat a bit more. That was too quickly. So sometimes I will just ask you some questions, if you can hear me, if the presentation is working, or if you understand something, if I should repeat anything. And so we can just agree upon a very simple kind of communicating by chat. You can just put in some plus or minus signs, and we can try this. So do you understand what I want you to do with the chat? So for example, yeah, so write plus like this. It's easier. You don't have to put in a word if it's just like this, or like a minus if you don't understand me, if I'm talking too quickly. And so I would try to slow down my speech. Well, great. So last time we talked about the schedule, the technology, communication, and also the course of the lessons. And I just want to repeat and ask you if everything is fine for you. So what I received the notice that maybe we're gonna switch the Tuesday's lessons as well, from German time 8 to 12:30. And that means also for your time in China, from 2 p.m. to 6 or 6:30 p.m. No, 6:30. Mrs. Thomas from the coordinative department is validating this with all of you, the course. So I assume that next week we're gonna have the lesson later, and I hope that's fine for you all. Just give me a sign by the chat if that's okay, if we switch the class, because I think you have other courses, other classes at this time. We may be gonna switch to 6:30 in the evening on Tuesdays too. That fine?
Hello. And today we also have Thomas class, and it starts from 11 a.m.
From 11.
Yes, in German time.
Okay, so we will be finished until 10:30. So today it's no problem?
Yes.
So you have a break as well. And maybe next week we're gonna start a bit later. So German time 12:30 and Chinese time 6:30 p.m. But
Yes, that will be great. Thank you.
yeah, okay. So I will send an email until the end of the week, so then we are sure that we will switch. Okay, great. Okay, I think the other parts we're gonna take a look at the technology a bit later in the section of the tech check, and communication is fine. We are already in contact by email, and I noticed that it's working. And as you already noticed, so there would be always kind of the same agenda of a lesson. We will take a look at the agenda. We will repeat and talk about open questions and topics. You receive some new input. And we will also, of course, have some breaks. Today we're going to have 2 breaks because it's very exhausting to listen only by video conference, and sometimes the connection is a bit poor, so it's much more important to have breaks. Yeah, I think that's all for the organization. I want to I want to get to know you a bit better. Now I know the names. And the next is maybe you can just tell me what your favorite fruit is. I heard that food is so important in Chinese culture, and I would love to know what kind of food you like, and what's the special thing about it. And I just pick someone of you, and you're going to let us know a bit about this, and then you can move the question, forward the question to someone else. So Ray, maybe you want to tell us what your favorite food is. Ray, you're still mute. Can you hear me? Maybe not all of you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
My favorite food is hamburger, and I like it.
This was your last picture, right?
when I was a child, and I eat hamburger in my breakfast every day, and so I hope in the future I will I will go to Germany, and I will try every kinds of hamburger in Germany.
Yeah, that would be great if you could try the German burgers.
I
Yeah.
think it's very delicious, and it is more delicious than in China. I think.
I don't know. I never compared the burger in China. As I told you, I was only 4 or 5 days in China, and I didn't try the burger there. So maybe, but the German burgers in Germany, they are a bit closer, I would say, to American burgers, like big size and handmade and so on. Yeah, there's a big burger culture coming up in Germany.
Because I feel the hamburger in the Burger King is more delicious than the McDonald's.
Okay, so you burgers. Who's next, Ray? Who should tell us about her favorite food?
Favorite.
So who is the next one telling us what's her favorite food?
My favorite food is hot pot.
What is it?
Hot pot.
Hot pot.
Mm.
Okay. So it's is it like, can you explain it? Is it like a kind of a soup and you dip in different kind of vegetables and meat, or is
Yes, all kind of vegetables, meat and tofu,
okay.
something like that. And actually, there's a pretty good hot pot restaurant in Frankfurt, near Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof and Kaiserstraße.
Do you know the name?
Its name is you just search hot pot in Google Map and you will get the name.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm in Frankfurt visiting friends, and yeah, maybe I try that one.
Yes, pretty good.
Great. Okay. Who should be the next one? 10. Varieties of eggs. Okay. Yeah. Fried and yeah. And you really love that. and I heard first that you said something like cake. Is that right? Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that's easy, but really delicious, and you can eat it in a sweet way and also in a more like salty way. That's great. So you also like to cook. Okay, so the last one in the row, 10. No, Zoe, sorry. It was you missing, right? Let us know what your favorite food is. Zoe, maybe you're still mute. Your microphone is off.
Sorry, my connection is not steady, so you can't hear me clearly.
Yeah, now I hear you very good. So, what's your favorite food? Oh, I can't hear you again. What a pity. Maybe you can write it in the chat. Because I see your microphone is on, but I cannot hear you. So, okay, Chinese dumplings. So these are, no, they are not positioned here, but these are like, I don't know what the name is. They are made of flour, and the inner part, the filling is with meat, vegetables, and so on. And you can eat them damped or cooked or boiled, right? Or also fried. They are different variations. Yeah, great. So thank you. And maybe I should also tell you what my favorite food is. And I'm really, so I love food in general. I heard that I'm part of the generation which is called the foodie generation, because I'm 37. And I love cooking and different kind of food, and especially like this international influenced kitchen. But mostly I'm really into Mediterranean food, especially Italian food with pasta, and I like to do the pasta on my own. And yeah, that's what I really love. But I also like Asian kitchen, and yeah, not really into this German classical traditional kitchen, potatoes and so on. So yeah, thank you. That's so great to know a bit more about you, and I think food is a good way to learn about people and to connect with each other. So maybe we find different questions for the next sessions as well. So back to the topics of today. We're going to talk about the project work. So I prepared and handed you over some documents. You received a document with the project work guidelines, and you also received a topic selection and case description of the company. And yesterday I sent you the access to the handbook of academic writing of the Hochschule Fresenius. So you will also have the guidelines for the format, citation, and so on. And we're gonna take a dive into these documents and see if there are some questions, if you have already selected some topics, and so on. So it will take a lot of time to put it into this project work during your studies, during this semester, because I think it's the best way to combine lecture input, self-study, because you have to read and do literature research, and also practical work, because you have to work together with someone. And yeah, hopefully we will be 6 in this class, so we will split up in 2 teams with each 3 persons. But today we are 4, and don't worry, we can also do the project work with 2 in each team. So I will switch the document right now. So check which one is it. Project work guideline. Yeah, that's it. So this is the guideline. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so I hope you can see the document, the guideline of project work. And we're going to go through every page again, and you can send me questions by chat, or just ask if you're do you have a question, do not understand something, and so on. So the content of the document, as you already noticed, is something about the organization and the timeline of the project work. The required performance is described. also the process of evaluation and grading and what's important for the grading. And then you will find detailed requirements regarding the report, the presentation, and the handout. Okay, so the organizational timeline. You already received 5 topics on Sunday, and also this guideline. Since then, we are in the process of the team building, and I wrote down that we want to build up each team with 3 members, but we have to see how many people will join the class regularly and will be part of the project work. And what's very important today, we will get a first impression of which topics are you interested in. And on Thursday, in 2 days, we're gonna try to finalize it. And until Friday, you have to be clear, you have to define your project teams and topics. So next Tuesday, we will then meet in the project team groups in different sessions to do the project kickoff. And so I will introduce to you the project work methodology you can use, and we will also talk about the setup of your collaborative tools like Planner and Slack and how you can use them. This is what we're going to talk about on the 28th. And I will give you, of course, guidance throughout the entire class. And we will have a call for the kickoff for the high-level concept when you have, I think, 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks after the start of the project. And we will also talk 3 to 5 weeks later. And of course, anytime if you need support. The submission, as you already know, is in June, on the 17th of June. And afterward, there will be the presentation and also the grading process will start. And you will receive your grade until the end of July. So what's required? What do you have to do to receive a grade? You have to write a project report with your team. That means with about 40 to 50 pages, and you will see what that means, because, for example, tables and lists are not included, of course. That means 10 to 15 pages by person, and you will have about 5 to 10 general team pages. You have to do a presentation. You have to prepare the presentation, and it will take 45 minutes per project team. We will do the presentation in the end of June, as you know, between 23rd and 25th, I guess. And this presentation also includes a moderated discussion. And that means you at the project team will moderate a discussion with the audience, which is not only me, but also the other students of other projects. And to support the presentation process, you will have to create a handout as well, which will have about 6 to 12 pages. It's an additional document for the presentation. Okay. About the evaluation and grading, 50% of the grade will be the project report and 50% the presentation. While the presentation is only team performance, the project report is divided. That means 75% is the individual performance, the 10 to 15 pages. You remember, you have to write on your own individually, and 25% team performance. These are the general pages, 10 to 15, but also the lists and tables, the annex, also the reflective work I want you to do about the project, and of course, an overall impression. This will be the team performance. And yeah, these both performances will create the subject grade for you. Is that clear for you? Can you just give me a sign? Is it? Do you have any questions? You can use the chat with a plus for that's perfectly and everything clear, or a minus for I have it's not clear. You can send me a concrete question. Just a brief, quick feedback from your side. Okay, I assume that everything is clear. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, that just helps me because I'm talking to muted audience most of the time. And this really helps me if you just give me some feedback by the chat. I don't know that I did not lost you. So the requirements for the report, what's it? As I already mentioned, the framework is you will create a report with 40 to 50 pages with the individual and also general pages, and only the pages of the abstract. We will take a look at the structure right now. The part A and part B will be taken into account for this 50 to 40 pages. So I highlighted them in bold. So that means you will write an abstract. It's kind of a summary. There will be some tables of content, tables of illustrations, lists of abbreviations, and so on. Then there will be the part A, which I will explain later on. It's a concept. And the part B, the reflective work. And also then there will be added a reference list or bibliography, and also an annex, or also called appendix. It's important for us, for the general impression of your work, that you work in compliance with the handbook or with the academic writing guidelines of the Hochschule Fresenius. So I will tell you later what that means. Part A. So you received project topics, and your team will choose a project topic you will work on together. And that means this part A includes an introduction, some theoretical fundamentals, and also a main body. I know something's missing. Discussion, critical reflection. Yeah, there's something, the Fazit is missing. I don't know what happened. So I will check that afterwards. So it's usually 4 parts: introduction, theoretical fundamentals, main body, and a final conclusion. So I will add this later on. Yeah, I see. It's a big deal. The project is a big challenge, but I will support you as much as I can. So we will have a lot of time talking during our lessons about the project work, because I want you that it will help you to learn like in a holistic way, not only theory, but also in practical work. Let's get back to the structure of part A. The introduction includes the project mission, the background of the company, and the target of this concept you are writing in your own words. And then also you will write down in the introduction the structure of your project report. That means, okay, part part 2, theoretical fundamentals, includes this and that, and in the main part we're going to focus on this kind of concept, and so on. So you will just explain what you are doing here concretely in your project report. The theoretical fundamentals, it's kind of an introduction into the principles of the respective consulting area you are working in your project work on. That means, for example, if you choose a strategy-focused project, you will explain the some standard models of strategy consulting and market analysis and so on. And in the second part, in the main body, you will describe your consulting concept for this special project. So that means this here is just some general description you will find in literature, and this here is your own consulting concept you are designing. And it's important that you are describing your approach, so what you want to recommend for this problem, and your solution. It's very important that you also describe why you choose some methods and what your expectations are of the expected outcome. And then I would like to ask you also to discuss and reflect this concept you created. That means how good are so what are the risks, for example, if I'm using this or that method, what kind of information I'm missing I'm still missing, and maybe because of this missing information, I'm not quite sure if this method or this concept will work, and so on. Part B is also part of the team performance. I would like to ask you in the end of the project to reflect on your progress and results. Of course, it's much easier if you include or integrate this reflection process into your project work from the beginning on, because then can you document your experience, and you can also learn in an agile way, step by step, and then in the end it's easier to create this part B. So I want you to do a reflection on the project progress and the results. That means, are you in the project team satisfied with the results or not? What have been some challenging aspects? What kind of information have been missing, and so on. And then I would like to ask you also for a reflection of the internal teamwork. This means it's focusing on the team building process. How did the division of tasks worked? Did everybody met the deadlines you defined? How did the internal communication work? Was it easy to use the collaboration tools? And at the end of the part B, I want you to define some lessons learned. So that means, what would you do again next time, and what would you do differently next time working with a project team? So what about the requirements regarding the report? Is it clear for you? Just give me a sign by chat. I see a clear. How to finish it? Maybe you can tell me a bit more, Ray. What do you mean with no idea how to finish it? Maybe you can also open your microphone.
Too many things to handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start, and I don't know what information I should collect from the internet or from the books, from what books, what article, what lectures, such as that.
Okay, so regarding this project, I will give you a lot of guidance, so don't worry. We will go through the project step by step, and I would be something like your coach. And we will also take good care that you can handle this in combination with your other classes you have. So for me, it's just important to know how much time do you have to spend on, and as I said, we will take also our scheduled lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays to work together on this project. Because for me, it's more important that you experience a successful project work, and that you can learn a lot. And if there are any restrictions regarding the time or anything, we can talk about that. So you don't have to be afraid doing this project work. Yeah, I think you can learn a lot when you're working with, you have to do something new and something challenging. Right? Okay. So requirements presentation. So the framework, as I already said, is I want you to do a 45 minutes presentation, and maybe this sounds very long, but if you are 3 in a project, then everybody has to talk about 15 minutes, and this is not very long. So I'm already talking almost an hour to you, and time is running. And I think you don't have to worry. If it turns out that it's not that you are only 2 in a project, for example, it's only 30 minutes per presentation. So that means everybody has to talk about 15 minutes. And as I said, afterwards, I want you to do a moderated discussion. But I will help you to prepare this discussion as well. The content of the presentation, of course, is that you describe the project mission, like you did it in the project report. It's like a presentation of the outcome of your report, or a summary. Then I want to see the consulting approach. So what's your concept, your solution, and also from part B, what were the biggest challenges in the project and what are your lessons learned? Regarding the discussion, as I mentioned, it's important that you prepare questions, and we will also talk about or try to figure out if some tools will help you to support the interaction with the audience. We, for example, today try to work a bit more with the chat, and maybe next time I'm going to do a little survey or something like this. You will get to know these tools, and we will figure out what kind of tool will help you most to create a great discussion. The evaluation aspects, because I'm pretty sure you want to know what I'm looking at the presentation to do the grading. It's that I want a clear presentation of the key messages of your project. The content of the presentation, of course, is important. Also illustration, format, and structure. And I want to see an involvement of all team members, because in some groups, sometimes one person is doing all the presentation and everybody else just adding some smaller information or doing the click work in the presentation. So I want you all, as I said, talk about 15 minutes. I want to see some interaction with the audience in the discussion. It's like a nice add-on if you use additional techniques, as I said, for example, the chat or survey tools. So, and we will also check the handout because it's additional for the presentation. As I said, it's not, it will not be taken into account for grading, but it will help the audience to understand the presentation better. And so the quality of your presentation will can increase. I want you to do 6 to 10 pages handout. It can be based on Word format or a similar format, and you will send it in PDF format to the audience before the beginning of the presentation. Because we are not meeting in a room and you can give the handout, it's important that everybody receives the handout before the beginning of the presentation. And regarding the content, it's kind of an extended abstract of the project project report. And it includes also some lessons learned. And yeah, it's just like a supportive document for your presentation. So the content has to be very similar, of course. Okay, that's all about the guidelines regarding your project work. If that's clear for you so far, we're going to do.
I have a question. This handout we have to do is in the name of the team, or each person should hand out 6 to 10 pages of handout?
I'm sorry, it's not clear here. Yeah, it's per team, so per project. Yeah. So it's not per person. So the project team has to deliver 6 to 10 pages handout.
Oh, okay, I know. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Then this will be not the last time we talked about the requirements. We will do this repetitively during our whole classes until June, because you have to feel secure what the requirements are and what you have to do. Yeah, that's it for the moment regarding the guidelines. And if there are some questions coming up later, you can also send me an email, or we can talk about this on Thursday. I would recommend to do, let's say, 10 minutes break. Oh no, let's do a 5 minutes break, and we're going to get back then to the topics. And we'll do another 5 minutes break before we're gonna take a look at the academic writing handbook. So I will do a small break, and we'll see in 5 minutes, so at 9. And I hope you're gonna do a break too. Listen to some music or have a nice drink, and yeah, stand up. That's very important.